My husband abandoned me and my children and fled to his home country. What are my legal rights under the UAE law? Well, you have strong legal protections under the UAE law, and there you have two options, in fact. So one is you can file a case against your husband here in the UAE, and that would be for, among other things, perhaps divorce and child support. And just because your husband is no longer in the UAE does not mean that the UAE courts don't have jurisdiction. They still do, because this is where you are based, this is where the children are based, and this is where once upon a time he was based. So it makes sense for you to bring a case here. And it could be just for child custody, or it could be for divorce and child custody. And just because he's not here does not mean that he will not be, that the courts will not adjudicate the case without him. In fact, the UAE now has a fairly modernized way of service of process, and so they will serve him digitally. Therefore, just because he doesn't respond, for example, or he's not here to receive the papers in person, will not prevent your case against him or from proceeding. You should definitely file a case here, and it's up to you to decide on whether you want to do both the divorce and child custody, because you can just file a case only for compensation for child support and potential custody without the divorce. It's up to you. Now, once, although he's not here, but if you do, once you have a case going on, so you have two things that you'll be able to put to use I guess in your favor. So one is when you file a child support kind of a case, right as you file the case, you will be able to, through the court request, disclosure of your husband's various assets and interests in the UAE, and also if freeze any of his accounts. So, for example, and this is even before the case is adjudicated all to the end. So, for example, if he has bank accounts, once you file the claim for child support, you also make a claim or request for the court to freeze the accounts. So they'll freeze the accounts, and they will even be able to even seize certain amounts of money depending on how much money you're asking for the support. And that's because obviously the courts look at this as though, well, you're a mother with children and your children need support. So therefore, even until the case is fully adjudicated, the courts understand that you need access to cash. So they will be able to seize the funds and or also apply travel ban on him if either he doesn't have the funds or he does not pay the judgment amount or the amount that's issued to the court. So that's a fairly effective leverage, because sooner or later he might come back here. And even if he doesn't come back, if he has some kind of assets, you'll still be able to seize even without him being here. So that's one way of doing it. The other way, it's a little more complex, is that if you know he's not here and he has no assets, but you know he's got some sort of assets in your home country, his home country where he is now. So you can also either file an enforcement of the Dubai judgment there, or you can file a separate case. But it's a little more complex. It could be a little more costly. But depending on the circumstances, you have those options. But whatever it is, you need to still, even if you think that he has no money and it's sort of futile to chase him, you still need to figure out your own rights, custody rights over the children. So I would recommend that you still file a divorce case. And in this divorce case, you request full custody and guardianship for your child. So at least, even without his financial support, it is very clear in legal terms that you have full custody of the children.